all available. Yeah.
So this will be first
Game
time?
1.
This will be the first time everybody's healthy, right?
Yes.
How was that? I mean, I see the smile, but how does that resonate with you that this is the first time? And is it like crazy that it's this deep in the season?
Yeah, it's unusual to get this deep into it without having everybody. But and we still, honestly, Damian Lee's not healthy, so not fully everybody. But we've had the bulk of our main rotation healthy for a couple games now, so it's not a big difference. But I'm eager to. Bull had picked up some momentum with some positive 3 games, and we're excited to get him back in there.
When you look back at the film, is it pretty much what you saw during, or are there a couple of things that you're like, okay, I didn't really recognize that at the time, but we were either better at that or we were worse than what I thought?
I mean, it's just really like every game you evaluate things you did well and you try to reinforce them with your team the next day, and all the little habits on both sides of the ball, and then you identify some areas where we failed, and you address those as well. We're the solution, you know what I mean? So I think you find that with every game, whether you have a tough loss or whether you have a blowout win. There's always lessons in every game that help your team move things forward.
Curious with, I don't know if you saw Darko's comments after the Lakers game.
I did see them, yeah.
Well, what did you think?
Good for him for standing up for his team.
You've been on the other end of a free throw disparity, so you can relate to what he was trying to express.
Absolutely. There's always a time and place to speak up when it's egregious like that. I commend him for speaking up and standing up for his team.
Because the reason I ask is because Davis is a guy that gets to the line and he can have one of those at any moment in time. Is that a concern when you're playing the Lakers that he's the one that can generate free throws like that?
I play those guys without fouling. Very difficult to do.
How challenging is it to figure out the best rotations and then your team really hasn't been healthy? Like you said, it's kind of like game 1.
It's fun. It's part of exploring your roster and seeing what you guys can and can't do and how the pieces fit together. Sometimes it leads to wins. You see things you like. Sometimes you look at some things that aren't working and you have to go away from it.
Obviously, you know LeBron and AD extremely well. So now that you go against them, like how challenging is it for you to go against them as opposed to being on the same side?
It's not about being on the same side anymore. Anybody that goes against those two guys in for a very difficult night. They present a lot of challenges. LeBron's, computer alone, and his ability to read the game, and he's one of the guys in this league that impacts winning as much as anybody in the league. Because of his ability to think the game. And AD's when he's at his best center in the game. So they create a lot of problems.
I find it interesting. How are you able to stay this way when the team and you guys are going?
I've been on teams where I didn't believe we were going to get it, and we were going to be dominant. And I don't believe that with this group. I believe we are going to be dominant, and we are going to get it, and it's going to come. I got a strong belief in that. It's no fun losing tough games, either getting blown out in the fourth quarter or losing a lead. And that's no fun. There's a lot of suffering that goes into it for a head coach. But when you look at what we have, I got so much belief in this group, confidence in this group that I'm enjoying the challenge.
Part of the reason I ask is because some coaches might do a reset with the rotation with everybody healthy. Others that collect all the data and figure it out. How do you approach that now instead of
I'm doing that right now, collecting all the data and looking at ways we can be better with the group that we have, whether that means tweaking rotation or not tweaking the rotation and tweaking how we play within that rotation. But it's again, whether you have a tough loss, you win by 20, you have the same process. Move the shit forward, and that's where we're at.
That's all I got.
I know what calls he's talking about, but you gotta love that out of your coach.
The reason I ask is because A, obviously you know him.
Yeah.
And then B, you've been in games where the free throw disparity was off the rock, so I'm assuming you can relate to what he was getting.
Yeah, we're all emotional. We're high level character. We're all high level athletes, and a lot of preparation, a lot of time goes into it. And he obviously felt cheated, and it's not a good feeling.
Curious, bouncing back from most of you guys' losses have not been like that. So how do you guys respond and bounce back?
I mean, clean things up. You know, we had an off day yesterday, so time to sit with it and come in the gym today and talk through things and just put it in the past, move forward.
Curious, when you look back at the film, what things are you talk about clean up? What are a couple of things that immediately you feel like need to be cleaned up?
I always start on the defense side of the ball, just competing, making teams uncomfortable, and then the rest will figure itself out from there. And I think it was a 4 or 5 point game in the fourth quarter and just slipped away at the end.
Curious with the all of the talk about you, Brad, and Kevin playing again. I think it's just 6 games. Is not enough being made about that number, or is too much being made about that number?
About only playing 6 games?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's on you guys. We're just trying to get better every day. Obviously, we have some things to figure out, and we're working through it.
The reason I ask is because the continuity part, the teams that you have been successful on, that has been huge with that, and that's where I'm getting at. Is that something that makes you feel good about, at least okay about where you guys are at because that number is just at 6 games?
We've showed it in spurts. I think it's just putting it all together. And the beauty of this long season is you get right back to it. We got one tomorrow. We got another one Sunday. All these games are just opportunities to get better and figure out that chemistry and flow.
Yeah, do you feel the chemistry getting better with each game? There haven't been many, but...
Yeah, I'd say it's in spots. Sometimes it's getting better, and then I feel like we take, a step back sometimes. So it's just figuring that out, being forceful in everything we do.
What jumps out to you whenever you're going against LeBron and AD?
It's just star power. Those guys are going to have the ball in their hands a lot, especially late in the game, continuing to make plays. They're both forces. They're going to put pressure on the rim at all times. AD not only offensively but defensively disrupted things. So super talented team. Obviously they need some figuring out to do, and they're kind of in the same situation as us right now.
A, did you see that, and B, what did you think of what he actually did?
Darko coached me for a few years at OKC, and he's been at Intense since then, and he was like a rookie coach, and he was still at Intense. So I appreciate that from all coaches. And I didn't see the game, so I can't really assess how the fouls were called and what really happened throughout the game. And I think people have to watch each foul to really see what it was like. And it's tough. It's tough being a ref. It's tough being a player in some of those plays. So we don't. If it comes down to us, we don't want to put have the ref be involved in the game at all. We want to just kind of control it ourselves. The players control it ourselves. So, but I should go back and watch and see how those guys played last night.
The reason I ask is because you guys just played the leg. I think the foul has been pretty even. But is there a concern when it's Davis and he gets to that line like he did?
It's just on us to not foul. It's on us to play solid basketball on the defensive side and not even have the ref have to make a judgment call. Sometimes we leave it up into their hands and play a little too physical. Now they got to make a call. So how can we not even have them blow their whistle and make guys just shoot over us or have to make a tough shot over us? And that's a challenge of all NBA teams to try to figure that stuff out, not to foul. So when we stay conscious of it, we know this team gets downhill, gets to the rim with ease. And it's easy to put your hands on them, so we got to play smarter.
What jumps out to you every time you face LeBron and AD?
Just the length and athleticism on both of those guys. Obviously, AD being a younger player, but LeBron's still as spry and athletic, and he's still moving up and down the floor. And it's not just them. You got Torian Prince, you got Cam Reddish, you got Vando, big long lineup, Jackson Hayes. They got long athletic guys up and down the lineup with big guards as well. So with Austin and D'Angelo, so we got our work cut out for us. But it's been a challenge every game, and I feel like we've been right there every game, and just trying to get over the hump now.
Kevin, Brad has such a tremendous resume and skill set, but just how have you seen him navigate all the different moving pieces? pieces with dealing with the injury and trying to get some chemistry.
I mean, he's handled like a true pro that he is. You know, it's been fun being around Brad, seeing his mentality and IQ for the game. When you're around teams that don't have successful postseason runs like he was a part of the last few years, people tend to question your IQ and your intelligence for the game. But when you're around Brad, he sees and knows everything, and he hears everything out on the floor. So that's always good to have when you got another guy that can just kind of survey the game the way you survey it, and that's just from experience around the league, been around the league for so long. So he's navigating it like a pro. It's only going to get better. It's only going to move up from here.
Beyond what you just said about just his great IQ, are there other things that leave you encouraged, even though it's been such a small sample size?
I was never discouraged.
Okay.
So it's like I don't even think about it.
Right.
You know, I just think that we all trying to, we've been in and out the lineup trying to figure out our rhythm. Coach trying to figure out the rhythm with different players. It's been a wacky season as far as rotations. So and that's tough on players and coaches. So, but the beauty of it is we still get to do this every day and still try to figure it out. We got more games to play, and we're healthy right now. So we got to just lean on that, just keep building.